All right, we're going to talk AI. What's going on right now? The best path to dominate rankings using AI in 2024. The implications of AI and dead people, AI SEO ranking and content inflation, and the different ways that agencies need to be thinking about AI and white labeling. All of this on the Garlic Marketing Show with Max Montejo. Max, say hi.
Hey everyone, thank you for having me today.
And Max is going to talk about all of this and what he's seeing because he's helping hundreds and thousands of businesses do this right now through their various media properties. But also, we're going to talk a lot about what this means to digital agencies. So, this is a really big one if you're a digital agency owner. And of course, this is brought to you by videocasestory.com. One of the best ways to grow your business is through client stories and through YouTube. Go to videocasestory.com to learn how you can start collecting client stories that can land you those 100K clients through YouTube. All right, let's get started.
My name is Gino Wickman. I was introduced to Ian, and that's what brought me into this video world and got me embracing this video world. And Ian did exactly what I hoped. He got me really comfortable with putting videos out to the world. And having a great strategy around putting videos out to the world, because there's so much more than just shooting a video. And so the way that he positions those videos, optimizes those videos, he's done a great job.
All right.
And so, Max, tell us a little bit about Next Step Media, and then let's get into AI.
Perfect. So Nexen Media is the powerhouse for more than 250,000 businesses that they've been with us to create success stories. When we mean success stories, we were talking about SEO from an SEO perspective, from a content perspective, and pretty much we've been helping companies not only to increase their traffic, to increase their organic rankings, but also at the end of the day, to accomplish their business KPIs and business objectives. Nexten Media has 7 different brands within their umbrella, but pretty much we're helping businesses to grow. Either if you are a small business, an agency, or a brand, we'll have something for you here and then Nexten Media. And it's been amazing because we've been growing we've been in hypergrowth mode for the last 4 years, helping mainly agencies, SMBs, and brands. So if you have something about you're dealing today with problems with SEO, AI, you don't know how to create content, come to us. We're going to partner with the best brand we have for your business and for your endeavors as well.
Yeah, and content is super important, and AI is transforming how we generate, how we make it. I mean, we just had an internal content meeting about AI. We regularly meet about it, how we're using it. What are you seeing, and how are you all using AI in your content and link building?
It's a great topic, a great topic, an amazing situation that we're going through right now. I think I've been in the digital industry since pretty much 2004, and even
Wow.
though we know that this industry is always changing, the last year and a half it's been a hectic year because every day it's something different. With OpenAI coming, with ChatGPT, with Google stepping up with Gemini, with all other brands outside giving also AI services. So one of the things we're seeing in the industry is something that we refer to as content inflation. So pretty much the concept of content inflation it's very easy to understand. Let's say I'm a brand, let's say an insurance brand or something like that. I'm creating 5 pieces of content per day. My competitor with AI creates 10, and then I create 20 per day, and then my competitor goes up to 40, and I go to 50. So pretty much it's a competition of who's creating more. But at the end of the day, sometimes we're not thinking about the quality of the content. We are like mainly driven by a quantity perspective that we forget if we are fulfilling our user. And actually we are creating content that resonates because sometimes we're just doing it for the sake of writing the content now that we have AI. That's the first analysis we're having right now. Now, with the question of how we use it internally, there are like different products we have. For example, with the Hub, which is one of our brands. Right now, we are using AI to make our processes more efficient from a user to publisher perspective. So now we have a tool called AI Link Select, where you come to us, you give us your website, and with AI, we can give you exactly the best niche website that you can get backlinks from. And when we say the best, it means the website with the highest quality, a website that's pretty much established in the industry. Not PBNs, we don't have any PBNs or something like that. So I think we are using it just to make sure we have better processes. But also we are trying to pass the savings to our clients with different products. We have content that's created by AI that clients can purchase, and at the end of the day, it's a win-win for both. However, we're still thinking that in 2024, July, the best way for us to keep a balance. We shouldn't rely on the algorithms or the prompts. We should just have a mix between what you want to accomplish, the level of business you have, your knowledge of the business, and then we can have like an amazing three-action plan between technology, brand, and a vendor. So that's pretty much how we see it, and it's coming along. It's been challenging, but really excited journey so far.
And how do you see this affecting marketers, like professional marketers and digital agencies?
That's a good question. Actually, I was reading the other day, pretty much marketers are using AI for like three main reasons: content actions for sure, data analysis, and sometimes as another team member, as a sounding bar, just to connect and brainstorm with. But again, when you look at those numbers and then you look at the penetration that chatbots or AI chatbots are having right now, we still know that 90% of the world, they don't know how to use a chatbot yet or an AI yet. So for those who are in the bubble, they're using it to make sure the team acts faster than they used to. But at the same time, they're seen as a challenge because people will think, or team members will think, AI is going to replace some positions. And I'm still doubting about it. I think it's making us better because we can have someone else that we can rely on that could be faster and smart enough. But again, everything depends on what's the prompt you're using, what's the information you're giving. Because otherwise, if they don't have the context, they won't perform. So I think that's how I've seen from a marketing perspective. Now, from now to the 2025, 2026 year, I think there are two things that are going to be emerging. AI to create images and to create content. That's something that's going to be growing faster than we think. And the second one is how to create personalization through AI, meaning like those GPTs that you can create, custom GPTs, how do you create those ones for your job, for your business, or for your team? Because that's going to be a game changer, to have someone else going to help you interact better, but not to replace your marketing activities.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. I mean, I think, we would say it is a tool, and it needs to be treated like a tool, not an end-all, be-all. But let's talk a little bit about the image. Where do you see that going, and how are you all using that? Because it is interesting to me, because when they're really, really done well, the AI images, you don't see that they're AI, but it takes a lot to get there, and it's almost as much time as making the image itself, right?
Yeah. I think that the biggest challenge that every single business is facing right now, it's the copyrights and the compliance of those images. Because the algorithms use other images they've been created for someone else to come up what they have today. So I think that's like a little gray area where we don't know who gets the right and how we use from a compliance perspective. I would say it's been interesting to create abstract images to make sure our blogs run better, as long as we have those images connected to the text that we are using. But again, it's one of different. We usually, in the different brands we manage, we have a combination between sometimes AI generated tools, but also images from different image banks that we pay. So I think that's, as of today, that's going to be the big challenge. If we look, let's say 2-3 years from now, I'm sure the AI tools are going to be capable of to produce illustrative images that can help us be better to add it into our content. But I don't think this is going to replace photography, or it's going to replace advertising images. Now, when you start looking at the video capabilities that we've seen with OpenAI, with other companies, that's what everything starts to get better, because from an efficiency perspective, you're going to be able to create better produced videos without spending tons of money in a TV spot. Right now, from a user, the challenge is going to be, how do you differentiate what's reality versus what's fiction? The other day, just let me give you something that I think it's a big discussion right now. I saw one of different brands, and the other day I saw a brand in South America bringing someone who's deaf, and they recreated that person the way they would look in 2024, and with AI they changed his voice and they start creating different messages to talk about certain moments of that country. That was an advertising campaign created by a brand. So are you violating the privacy by trying to use someone who's dead and who's been dead for the last 20 years? Where's the relationship between AI, privacy, and your ethic in that part? So I think those are the different conversations that the industry needs to have before we start going on video or on images as well.
Yeah, no, it is interesting because we can see where AI is going, but also at what point do we go, okay, we're not only going to allow real stuff here and only allow AI stuff here. That's where I'm thinking too, like with YouTube, because we think about YouTube all the time and customer stories, they have to start filtering out and saying, okay, and there has to be a disclaimer that there's AI in this or it was AI generated.
Yeah.
It's really, it has huge implications. But still, like with written content, it's an open field. Now, you guys do so much SEO. You're doing all this AI. You're obviously doing white labeling, and you see so many things happening. How is AI content being taken as far as SEO goes? Is it being filtered out more? Are there signals? What are you seeing?
We've seen different trends. There's one of the biggest trends we've seen the last year is clients abusing of AI content. This content inflation concept that I just mentioned a few minutes ago,
yep,
it's hurting some of the businesses because the business owner or the brand, they think they can produce hundreds of thousands of articles every day, and they do it. And what's happening is they're not writing from a user perspective. Even if they're using keywords, they're just writing for the sake of writing. That's the first part. Second, they're not following Google EE like recipe, so they're lacking of expertise and experience. Third, we've seen from the latest Google algorithm update in May that they were going after those sites who were abusing of AI. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you can abuse of creating millions of content just to make sure you increase your rankings. But if you don't know what you're talking about and you're just writing just to fulfill one keyword, that's a big problem because you need to write for your user and you need to write to see how your product, brand, service is going to address the search of the user. And if you have the experience and the capabilities to do it, it's going to be an amazing part. The other thing that we're seeing is clients may be demanding content, but they haven't even taken the time to think about what's the time spent on site, what's the reaction of user for that content, and also if the content is bringing anything from a rankings perspective. Because remember, on SEO, if you're ranking with your brands, with your branded terms, that's a given. Everyone can do it. Everyone in college can create today a page, and they're going to appear with their branded keywords. The challenge for marketers is how do you go after the long tail ones? And that's where content analysis, a part of AI as well, get together. But we cannot just rely on the tool itself to do it. So that's the first bracket of clients that I'm seeing. The second ones are those who understand that they need help. That even though with technology, they need help because they're not SEO experts. So that's where we can help clients from an agency, from a brand perspective as well. And the last one are those who don't believe in the tool and they are really picky about, I don't want anyone to create AI content. I just want this content to be 100% created by someone. The last one, it's the SME content. I was talking to a brand a couple of months ago and they were like, I'm lacking SME content because this is a running brand that sells shoes. And no one could write in a perfect way about how to improve performance with those shoes when you're running. You can give it to an AI. They don't know how to use it either. So that experience and expertise, I think that's what's key about right now. You can use AI to brainstorm about the possible ideas that you can use. You can use AI to add anchor text, to do a link, to do linking, like interlinking of your content, to do different things. But you are the experience. Who's the SME? So I think that's something that we need to figure out still, and that's pretty much one of the challenges we're seeing as well.
Yeah, and to your point too, I mean, for me, and everyone wants to skip past this, but the act of actually creating the content itself, like when someone comes into us for a strategic shoot day, we shoot we shoot a year's worth of content sometimes in a day with them in one of the VIP strategy shoot days, and we're thinking about it, we're strategizing ahead of time, and then when we're actually creating the content, it's there's a magic that happens, right? That I think certain people are losing too in just relying on AI, that because you discover things as you're creating it. And I think that's important as well.
Yeah, and I think also there's something that people might forget about, and it's how you come up, how the ideation process look like. You can get a tool to give you the ideation process to be creative, but to connect insights with this eureka moment where you say, wow, this is the insight and this is the reaction I want my audience to feel, and this is my creative concept from a audio and video perspective, that's something that is not replaceable yet. And I don't think it's going to be ever replaced, because that's what humans have, this creative power of say, like, this is the way and this is my creative concept. So I think you can rely on tools just to give you better brainstorming. But at the end of the day, you are in your expertise, you are the person to make this concept go live the way we imagine. So I think still just combining everything. Just one little reference. Based on different benchmarks, I've seen like CMOs right now have been tasked from the board of directors, even from their CEOs, to start making efficiencies from a dollar value perspective by incorporating AI into their strategies. This means, it doesn't mean like they need to fire people. It doesn't mean that they need to decrease ad spend. It means they need to play with the agencies in a different way. Remember, all around the world, the relationship between agencies and brands, it's embodied based on the retainers. The retainers are based on amount of people and amount of hours. So I've seen like brands taking things internally with like in-house agencies and the power of AI. And right now in every little CMO meeting with board of directors, now the question is, how do we make more efficiencies so maybe your headcount decreases or outsourcing costs decrease as well. So I think that's something that's on the table, and we'll see what happens in the next future, but that's a big one as well.
Yeah, and I it is interesting to me, the marketing roles that are internal versus external, because a lot of these things, if you take them, they make sense to take internal, right? Some of the content, etc. But then things I think like SEO strategy, it's smart to have an agency because they see it across multiple businesses and what's going on in real time, versus one person just trying to get all the data internally from just reading a few places.
Yeah, I went to Brighton in the UK 2 months ago to one of the biggest SEO conferences, and I was talking to brands and agencies about link building, and surprisingly, some of the brands were like, well, we have an internal outreach team that's doing link building. And I was like, okay, it makes sense, but you will never be able to do it with the speed we have, for example, with the HUD, and also with the precision we have with different vendors based on the niche you need. So again, you can, from an internal perspective, you can do technical, you can do basic metadata, but when it comes to specific situations like digital PR, like link building, like link insertions, you need to come to brands like ours, because I think that's where the level of professionalism increases, and it's the curve between expertise and cost. It's easy to fulfill, whereas if you do it internally, you're gonna hit the same obstacles. So again, it's great to have things inside your company, in-house, but at some point you need partners, and you need to be selective about who those partners are, because that's how you grow your brand in a better way.
Yep, I agree. And the partnerships are so important. And it's important to get it, because marketing, especially, is one of those things. It's like being your own lawyer, right? Or being your own doctor. You get so insular that you don't see anything from that. Like, you can't see the forest through the trees. But coming back to agencies, right? And, a lot of agencies want to do everything in-house. But then there's a certain point where they should be white labeling, which allows them to grow and expand. What's the role of white labeling now in an agency, and how has it changed?
I think it's evolving for different reasons. The first one is from an operative perspective. Unfortunately, right now clients are asking you to decrease costs. That's like the never-ending relationship between agencies and brands. I need your cost to go down. I need your cost to go down, but I want more from you. So when it comes to SEO, you need to add different things in the middle. You need to train your people. You need to buy tools. You need to make sure they are fully versed in link building, technical SEO, content, etc. So when it comes to this, I've seen and this is the service, for example, the Hot provides is, we can help your operative cost go better because you cannot hire a bunch of people in-house. You should do it with us, and then we just provide everything white label for clients. We have amazing white label reports, white label dashboards that brands, agencies can get benefit from this. So that's the first part. The second one comes to not being able to understand or fulfill the complete SEO experience. I know agencies that are very good in a technical perspective, but they are missing the off-page SEO, they're missing the digital PR part, they're missing link building, they're missing content. And that's what you need to rely on and say, okay, we can white label this because our margins are going to get better, and we need to have experts who are going to help us with this. So that's the second typology. And I think the third one is boutique agencies who are just not starting, but they have specific clients in a niche industry. Let's say insurance, let's say healthcare, let's say lawyers. Those small boutique agencies, they cannot add more people into their payroll because their margins are going to be completely tiny. So that's why partners like the Hub are important for them, because they're going to grow and scale faster, and we can help them provide more knowledge to their clients. Sometimes you cannot have all the answers to your clients' questions. Fortunate for you, you can come to us and we help you dealing with those questions. So I think that's also another way of looking at white labeling services. At the end of the day, it's going to improve your margins. You can get benefits, and also the most important one, you're going to be accomplishing objectives for your clients. So that means you're going to stay longer with them.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's a great way to do it, because you can stay at strategy, and I think this is an important thing. You stay in the strategy space without because as you grow as an agency, you move from being a strategist to being an HR person, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The higher you are in the pyramid and in the organization, you're just managing people, managing talents and egos. Whereas sometimes you just need a strategy, and then you don't have the time. So they come to us, we provide the white level strategy against their competitors, we tell them exactly what they need to get better at, and then also we can give you, this is the price we charge, you can just go and do whatever you want with this and add some margins on top of it, which is fantastic for the agencies as well. So that's a valid point as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you've got all these AI tools. I think it's a smart thing for every agency to be thinking about as a backup, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Even if you're at capacity, be prepared and always be testing it out. And also, I mean, you don't just have to be an agency to work with you all, right?
No, yeah, exactly. I'll say, from an Next Media perspective, 55% of our clients are small business and brands that they come to us because they need to fulfill specific actions from the SEO perspective. And when we say from an SEO perspective, it means link building, link insertions, PR, digital PR, and also content. Content is still a big bucket of our day-to-day revenue. But now we've been evolving, because pretty much we want to pass savings to our clients based on AI tools, but also it depends on how accurate the brief from their clients come. Because sometimes the clients do not give us enough specific details of their brands. So regardless if you work with an agency or not, you need to have an amazing brief to start developing everything from there. So I think that's something that we also require from clients. But yeah, we've been growing in those levels, and it's important. If you're a small business right now listening and you're having problems with your SEO and you don't know what's going on, you can just go to nextmedia.com and you'll see the different brands, because we have brands for all business levels. So that's important as well to let your audience know about it.
All right, so we'll put a link to all of that in the show notes. And Max, where's the best place to follow you?
Well, if you want to follow me, you can go on my LinkedIn page. We're gonna give it to your audience as well in the comments. It's LinkedIn/n/Max Gomez Montejo. Or you can go to nextnetmedia.com, and then you're going to find more about the different brands we have, and also you're going to find more about NextNet Media and how we can help you fulfill your business KPIs at this moment.
Awesome. Well, we'll put a link to all that in the show notes, and a link to all the resources you mentioned. Max, it's been great talking about AI and white labeling. Thank you so much.
Ian, thank you for having me today, and thank you to all of you listening out there. I know we are struggling with all the changes from a technology perspective, but remember, the strategy is your go-to action right now, and then just find vendors and find partners that you can rely on to do the day-to-day. So that's pretty much my best advice to all of you listening, and thank you for having me today.
Awesome. And thank you all for taking Max and I on your journey. It's been Iron Garlic and the Garlic Marketing Show.